3, 2, 1. Alright. Right, so this is what has happened. I went all the way to the park. It was freezing cold. I found a beautiful location with these like mystical kind of like trees all just like falling over each other with like long windy twigs. And then I pulled everything out and was like, wow, this is perfect. And then I realized I forgot my microphone at home. So here we are, back at home. I am not going outside again because I was like, I'm just so warm and toasty at home. So today I'm going to talk about the art of conversation. Now, you may not want to take advice from a 29-year-old woman, all in black, sitting at home in her living room. However, I might have a thing to... Okay, I'm so sleepy. However, I think I do have a few little tips and have been told that people are like, I don't know how you've made me say that, or just like it just flows. And people connect with me and they feel like I listen. And I'm also genuinely curious about their story and about their life, and so I ask questions. So this is covering all bases, for men, women, to friends, acquaintances, passerbys. So this is a quote I've always remembered. People will forget what you said, people forget what you did, but people will always remember how you made them feel. I've learned that people leave a conversation feeling like they've had the best time when they've had the opportunity to talk about themselves. Knowing more, first, about others as the person in the conversation expands your mind and gives you like added material for your brain. And I think that's probably why a lot of people say I'm quite intelligent, quite clever. I'm silly, but I think I do ask a lot of questions so that I can have many answers. That's also another quote. If you never ask, you never know. So even if you're afraid of the answer, if you never ask the question, you'll never have your answer. And for me, having an answer is like having a tool of how to manage my emotions and rationalize things. I can't tell you how to go up and talk to people because God knows I can't do it. Like, I don't know how guys just go up to girls and talk to them. I can't do this. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. I mean, especially if I'm attracted to the person. I think generally if I'm not, I just go up to them and talk to them. I mean, I do this a lot for work. I talk to a lot of people. I network with a lot of people, connect with them. And I can kind of like give the banter if it's in the context of work. But as long as it's just me, myself, out in the world, with no guise of like a framework of work, I'm just like, I can't do it. I also cannot teach you how to diffuse an escalating heated debate or dialogue. No, actually I can. So this is what I've learned. The trick is don't engage. Just shut it down. Trust me. You don't need to play with the pigs in the mud. You don't need to mudsling. Just leave it. If something's aggravating you and making you angry and someone's firing you up, it's okay. People are entitled to have different opinions, irritating opinions, aggravating opinions, and when they say these things, they mean to be dingleberries, so let them be. You don't need to be. But what I can tell you about is how to make a connection flow, how to make people feel comfortable. The first point I have is that we're all equals in status, age, job, income does not matter. Don't be intimidated, ever. We're all equals. It doesn't matter how much money someone has, how much beauty, whatever this person has, we're all equals. We're all still human. We may have different backgrounds. So I usually, when I'm thinking about how I communicate with people, I usually go in with like a light-hearted joke about something relevant. We can kind of go from there. And then you can lead off into a topic that you're genuinely interested into. You know, I have a genuine interest. Like for me personally, this is what I'm interested in. Like I have a genuine interest in the weather. And I also have like 5 different countries in my weather apps because I have a genuine interest. So I'll ask people about that and we'll talk about it and what people eat. Like I've been known to ask my colleagues, like, what did you have for breakfast, lunch and dinner? What are you gonna have for tomorrow? What did you bring today? Do you have a sandwich today? Is it pasta? Tell me all about it. Like sometimes I ask about star signs, but it depends on the circumstances and the person. But also like you stay true to the things that you're interested in, and maybe the person, you'll see their body language of the whether they're like, oh my god, this is absolute bullshit, or whether they have an interest. I actually got my recent job because the lady who interviewed me, the last thing, they were being very formal, and then I was like, what's your star sign? That was one of the reasons why she decided, you know what, they love me to be part of their team, and then I was hired because she really liked me. Because it's a genuine thing. We were both interested in star signs. One time, just looking at a lady, I could tell like she had a dark, moody streak to her. I told her about like a real life scary story that happened to me. Basically, it's actually a murder, and it was a murder. Let me know if you want that story time. And she was like, what? And she was like super engaged in the story, but I could tell from her energy that she had a kind of dark, moody side to her. And another time, I told a guy that I loved his signet ring. So a signet ring is like a gold family ring. And he was super proud to show it off to me. And then I was like, oh, could I try it? This is pre-COVID. Could I try it? And now we're still friends. Shout out to you, Simon. Simon also has incredible teeth. Just like in the conversation, you lightly proceed asking questions. Observe their energy and respect their boundaries. So when you ask questions, don't just like plow through with some questions. Ask a question and see how they're engaging, if they're open. There was, people are usually really open with me, and they will kind of engage, and I'll know when to give them space and know when to like keep going. But if you keep going on and on and on, you're taking people's time. Know when to like break away. One time there was a lady who I asked her a question. Normally people are super easy about this question. Then she looked at me and was kind of like, why are you asking me this question? And I was like, ma'am, it's not my problem actually. And I kind of left her to it. So take it easy. It's not that serious. Like, don't try to have in-depth life conversations with everybody that you meet. There's going to be times and circumstances. Sometimes it can be random and it'll just come up out of nowhere. But it doesn't have to be serious. But like, be genuinely curious about the person. Like, understand them. Like, people are unread books. So listen. Just listen to what they're saying and ask the things that you're truly politely curious about. It's more interesting to know people than to offer unsolicited advice, unsolicited words about yourself. Like, honestly, it's annoying. Like, for example, I have a friend who I'd be saying something and they'd be like, I have a similar experience. And every single time I would say something, he'd respond with, I have a similar experience. And it's like, are you actually listening, or you just want to share your story? You want to share your story. And it kind of hinders me from kind of developing a deeper friendship with this person, because I feel like they're not present in listening and engaging. I'm trying to connect with that person, but then I feel like they're just kind of like feeding it to me. And it doesn't inspire me to want to get to know them more, because it's like they don't respect that I also have a story to tell. This isn't like in a friendship or an acquaintance later on. In the beginnings, when I'm meeting people, it's normally I'm, full-heartedly wanting to get to know them. And then I'll start to understand if people want to go on and on and on and on and on about themselves. I'm like, okay, this is boring. Throw a few jokes around calmly if you can. Just like, for me, I'm quite dry in my humor, but I make people laugh, I think, like very calmly. Know when to stop. Like, don't go on and on and on in a conversation. Like, know when to stop. A lot of people don't like lengthy conversations, especially when they're trying to go about their life. But if their body language and their energy wants to stay, then continue. Engage until you feel like, oh, they're trying to pull away. Back to my previous point is that you don't have to try and relate every single story someone is telling you and reply, I have a similar experience. It's not about you. It's about you understanding the other person. If they organically ask you questions back, then let it flow. Don't ramble, don't go on and on and on. Just say, hey, and then ask them back a question. And then it gives them the space to kind of like fold into the conversation. You don't have to be, you don't have to talk. Like when you're, okay, this is back to, again, like hanging out with someone. Like, you don't have to talk the whole time. Sometimes you can walk along, enjoy the silence, look at things. And also don't be an overactive listener. Like, don't be like, yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. No, don't, just take it easy. Sit back and relax and just listen and say, what? I see. No, I understand. And just listen. And be genuinely interested in what they're saying. So I've been known to have really in-depth conversations just in passing. It's because people feel comfortable and they trust you. They see that you respect them as a unique individual for their own story and their own experiences. Within that, like when you have conversations and dialogue with people, depending on like what it's about, of course, be a trustworthy person. You know, tell the truth, be honest, be respectful, respect their privacy. Like whatever you discuss in the conversations is between the two of you. It's like do unto others as you would like to do, you like them to do to you. I'm starting to think about pizza. Do I want a pizza or am I thirsty? I don't know. But if it's like a light-hearted conversation between the two of you, then, you know, then it's okay to talk about it with people, I think. But if people are confiding in you or telling you certain things which you know are private and you shouldn't talk about with other people, you know, respect that privacy. Right, so when you come to sexual innuendos, obviously in situations where you're not comfortable with it. Now, this is something I have yet to be comfortable with. I think it's my Asian upbringing. I just like shrink in the discomfort of confrontation. However, if you are like me, what I do is I just don't engage. If they say something uncomfortable, I'll be like, and just let it be an awkward silence. And then continue talking about something else that you're uncomfortable with and don't engage and feed into anything. My experience is that not many people ask me questions about me. You know, it's like when they do, I'm like, this is really nice. So just think about how you make other people feel when you like engage in that conversation. At the end of the day, just be yourself. Some people are rigid, some people are fluid, some like it, some may not, but that's okay. Take it easy. Enjoy the conversation. Let it flow, and listen. And this is another thing, like if someone, this is probably more in like a friendship or certain things, if someone's trying to speak, don't keep going. What you do is then you say, oh sorry, what did you say? And then you let them continue. Wow, this is quick.
Oops.
Okay.